You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Server Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Installing physical drives requires careful planning to ensure long-term reliability and stable performance. Improperly installed drives can experience premature failure, inconsistent connectivity, or thermal throttling. Server environments demand precision during drive installation because these components operate continuously under variable load conditions. This certification includes physical drive installation procedures as part of hardware deployment and maintenance responsibilities. The way drives are mounted directly affects both cooling efficiency and serviceability. Drives must be installed using the correct mounting brackets, orientation, and slot alignment. Improper placement can obstruct airflow or block access to neighboring bays. Hot swap trays must engage correctly with backplanes, and locking mechanisms must be secured. If installation introduces vibration or physical stress, data integrity and mechanical lifespan may be compromised. Technicians must be familiar with structural and airflow design before populating storage bays. The first step in drive installation is identifying the type of drive and its interface requirements. Serial ATA, Serial Attached SCSI, and Non-Volatile Memory Express drives each require different connectors and controller support. NVMe drives use the PCI Express bus and may install as cards or M.2 modules. SAS drives offer dual-port connectivity for redundancy and often require enterprise-rated backplanes. Matching the drive to the correct slot and cable is essential to ensure proper operation. Preparing the chassis before inserting a drive involves inspecting and cleaning the bay and connectors. Technicians must determine whether the system supports hot swap or must be powered down for cold swap. In hot swap environments, trays are inserted while the system is active, with all connections live. In cold swap systems, power must be fully shut off before any component is removed or inserted. Using manufacturer-supplied trays or sleds ensures alignment and contact with the backplane. Cable routing affects airflow and drive performance. Power and data cables must be routed neatly and securely, avoiding interference with fans or vent paths. Cables should not be stretched, pinched, or draped across components. Excess slack should be bundled away from airflow zones. Loose or moving cables can create vibrations that cause drives to disconnect or degrade over time. Cable management contributes directly to the thermal and electrical stability of the system. Drives should be inserted gently but firmly. Forcing a drive can damage connectors or misalign pins. Proper insertion produces a tactile click or latch that confirms full seating. In tray-mounted systems, locking mechanisms must engage to prevent movement. Drives that are not fully seated may show intermittent behavior, such as appearing and disappearing from the operating system. Partial connection may also cause write errors or failure to rebuild RAID arrays. Every drive installed in a server must be labeled clearly. Labels should include the serial number, capacity, interface type, and assigned role, such as boot, data, or parity. These labels simplify RAID management, troubleshooting, and future upgrades. Matching physical drive labels to logical configurations allows administrators to locate and replace drives without trial and error. This certification includes documenting physical storage as part of deployment procedure. Drive firmware must be checked before production use. Some RAID controllers require specific firmware versions to initialize or rebuild drives properly. Mismatched firmware between identical drives can cause initialization errors or unstable RAID behavior. Firmware should be validated against vendor compatibility lists and flashed to the approved version before deployment. This step prevents post-installation issues that might not surface until rebuilds or heavy load. Chassis may contain dedicated slots for boot drives and separate zones for data arrays. Some systems also segment bays by controller or backplane. Drives intended for RAID arrays must be assigned to the appropriate slots and linked to the correct logical group. Confusion between boot and data drives can cause initialization errors or lost boot volume detection. Server Plus includes zoning awareness and logical drive assignments in hardware configuration tasks. Once drives are installed, the system BIOS or Unified Extensible Firmware Interface should detect them during startup. If a drive does not appear in the BIOS, this typically indicates a power issue, bad connection, unsupported firmware, or controller misconfiguration. Administrators must verify not just presence, but also reported capacity, interface speed, and smart status. Early detection of anomalies ensures errors are corrected before operating system installation or data replication. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. After hardware-level detection, the drive must be initialized and formatted by the operating system. New drives are initialized using either the GUID partition table format or the master boot record scheme, depending on the platform and intended use. Once initialized, administrators create partitions and format the volumes using file systems appropriate to the environment. These steps are necessary before the drives can be added to RAID groups or assigned as standalone data volumes. Thermal planning is essential when installing drives and server enclosures. Drives should be spaced to maintain consistent airflow, and high-density arrays may require additional fans or active temperature monitoring. Blocked airflow or poorly positioned drives can lead to hotspots that degrade drive performance or trigger thermal shutdowns. Enclosures designed for dense storage must include ducting, fan redundancy, and thermal sensors to alert administrators before damage occurs. Mounting hardware must be compatible with both the drive and the chassis. Using screws that are too short, too long, or poorly aligned can crack drive housing or damage the mounting rails. Some servers use toolless sleds or trays that snap into place, while others require threaded fasteners. Over-tightening screws can deform the tray or restrict vibration dampening. Drives must be mounted securely but not stressed by mechanical pressure. Before putting drives into service, diagnostic tools should be run to confirm performance and health. Manufacturer utilities can verify firmware versions, test interface speed, scan for bad sectors, and confirm that smart values are within tolerance. These tests identify early failures that could otherwise compromise production systems. Pre-deployment screening reduces the risk of deploying defective drives and allows time for vendor replacement before the system goes live. Every installed drive should be documented in system inventory. This includes the date of installation, model number, capacity, bay location, serial number, and warranty expiration. Recording this information supports warranty claims, simplifies audits, and helps during future upgrades. Asset tracking systems may include barcode labels, QR tags, or digital spreadsheets that align with physical server maps. Server Plus includes documentation requirements as part of standard hardware management. Handling precautions must be followed during transport and installation. Drives are sensitive to electrostatic discharge, which can silently damage internal circuits. Technicians must use grounding straps or ESD-safe mats when handling open drives. Vibration or sudden shocks during insertion can also harm the drive's read-write mechanisms or cause platter misalignment. Packaging should remain in place until the drive is ready for use, and movement must be controlled and deliberate. When replacing a failed drive, the replacement unit should match the original in size, type, and speed whenever possible. Differences in model or firmware may cause RAID rebuilds to fail or trigger performance mismatches. In systems with hot swap support, the failed drive is pulled and the new drive inserted without downtime. The controller detects the replacement and automatically begins the rebuild process if configuration is correct. This process must be monitored and documented. A correctly installed drive supports system reliability, performance, and manageability. By following structured procedures, verifying compatibility, and completing documentation, administrators avoid common installation pitfalls. Server Plus emphasizes that drive installation is not simply mechanical, it is a critical part of overall system health and lifecycle management. In the next episode, we will shift focus to firmware-level control, exploring BIOS and UEFI interfaces, boot settings, and system initialization behavior. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.